Why not check out our website at wrestlingfatherandson.weebly.com, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt and this is Son.
Hi.
And this is our NXT Takeover reactions. So yeah, we just got done watching NXT 25. It's been 5 years of NXTs, and obviously this is a big number, and this was actually quite a big pay-per-view. So we'll go straight into it, because there's quite a few of the matches to get through, and quite a bit of stuff that went on, so we'll crack right into it. It started off with the Undisputed Era's Roderick Strong versus Matt Riddle. This is a nice little good opener, I think, and I think they told a really good story in this match, and that is the thread of the whole pay-per-view. I think it's the stories the match is told. I think they were really good. When you put NXT up against the main show of WWE, you can see the difference. They tell better stories in the matches, and I think the matches are more stronger as well. This was obviously the opening match. It really got off to a good start. Matt Riddle went and won, didn't he? He went and won, and like I say, a very good, and I thought a very well done, storied match, and it really got NXT Takeover to a really good start, I think. So yeah, he went and won that match. Next it was a ladder match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Obviously the Viking Raiders, who were the War Raiders, got called up to the main roster, and they relinquished their NXT Tag Team Championships, so they were on the line in a ladder match.
Experience.
They were originally called the Viking Experience, that's right, and then they changed it to the Viking Raiders, which I thought was a little bit better. But yeah, they had to give up the titles, so they put in 4 tag teams in a ladder match to decide who were the new tag team champions. So we had the Street Profits, we had the Forgotten Sons, which was Blake and Cutler. They had Danny Burch and Oni Locum, and then there was the Undisputed Era, which was Fisher and O'Reilly. This match was really good. If it weren't for the main event, which we'll get onto, I would say this probably was match of the night. Up to that point, I was like, towards the end of the pay-per-view, I was like, that was the match of the night. But then, obviously, that match, then, well, we'll get to that at the end of this video. Overshadowed it, I think. This had some really good spots, and I've written them down. There was Blake. Blake did a sort of suicide dive out of the ring, didn't he? While I think it was Undisputed Era were holding the ladder. And then he went straight through. That was quite a good spot, and it looked like quite that hurt, to be honest. He took, the competitors in this match really put themselves on the line. They made these titles actually a sought-after title. I think they put a lot of effort into this match. O'Reilly was climbing up the ladder. He got knocked off, and he smashed his back onto the ladder. That was quite a heavy spot. There was a double German suplex. They were holding the ladder, a double suplex, and the ladder went flying. That was quite a good one.
That was from the Undisputed Era.
Well, no, I don't think it was, because I thought that when the ladder went flying, that nearly hit O'Reilly, so he wasn't one of them. Then there was O'Reilly. There was a power bomb onto the ladder. Again, O'Reilly really put his body on the line. He was in the middle of these. We had a double electric chair. That was a quite nice spot as well. We had the third member of the Forgotten Sons, which was Jackson Riker. He came out and they tried to take everyone out, destroy them, and then they eventually all ganged up and smashed the ladder on him, didn't they? And then they sort of done a flip to the outside. There's one of the Street Profits, Montez Ford, did a flip to the outside, and then they did another one by Oni Locum. He did one as well. And there was a double ladder push that was quite nice. So there was some really good spots in this. There's just a few that I got written down. And I was overly impressed with this. You think we just had Money in the Bank, male and female ladder matches. I don't think they compare with this. Just when I think I've seen everything in a ladder match, then this ladder match actually really impressed me. Ended up at the Street Profits one, so they're the new NXT Tag Team Champions, and they obviously celebrated into the crowd. And like I say, this to me at this point was the match of the night, and going forward it was still match of the night. But then obviously that main event, we'll get to it, where I think that just stepped up a little bit. Next it was the North American Championship. It was the Velveteen Dream versus the returning to NXT Tyler Breeze. Obviously Tyler Breeze was in a tag team with
Fandango.
Yes, Fandango, but Fandango was injured. Obviously they didn't really know what to do with Tyler Breeze, so they sent him back to NXT. I think it's the right thing to do. They had a really nice intro.
He shaved his hair.
He has cut his hair. Yes, he had long hair, used to have long hair, and then they Obviously he's gone short hair now. Obviously gone back to the Prince Pretty gimmick and the selfies with the phone. They had a really nice intro video to build up the match as well. Go on, what were you saying?
And they got rid of the fluffy boots.
Yeah, he didn't have his fluffy boots, black trunks, and another impressive match. Obviously, the Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze have got like a sort of similar style in their characters, and the development of their characters are kind of the same. Obviously, with like the selfies and the sort of glamour model type thing, and sort of vainness of both characters. It ended up that the Velveteen Dream went and retained the title, and it was a very nice match. Nice to see Tyler Breeze. I think he's going to do really good. Hopefully, when Fandango comes back, I'm hoping that they don't pull him back up to the main roster. I think he's going to be better in NXT, but we'll see what happens there. Next, we'll go to the next match, which I think is the weakest match. The good match that we had, I think this was the weakest one. It was Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai for the Women's Championship, NXT Women's Championship. There wasn't much to the match. Io Shirai should be with Kairi Sane on the main roster, to be fair, but obviously if they're giving her title shots and she could get a run at the women's title, then that's fair enough. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with her going forward. She might get called up sooner or later. There was nearly interference from Jessica Maiduke and Marina Shafir, but then it was Candice. I think it was Candice Ray who came down with a kendo stick to sort of beat them off, and then we had in the end it was Shayna Baszler who retained the title on Io Shirai. At the end of the match, Io Shirai used a kendo stick and then a moonsault with a chair. There's a little bit of history between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane, and obviously Io Shirai is Kairi Sane's friend, so she was going to get retribution, revenge.
Io Shirai had a kendo stick at the end.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, and then a moonsault with the chair. Yeah, so that was okay. It was an okay match. To me, it was the weakest one out of all the matches, but they were all good. And then we'll get to a sore spot with Kai. Sadly, he's been a bit upset about this match, but it is what it is. I'm quite happy with the result, but Kai wasn't so much. But we'll get into that. It was next for the NXT Championship. It was Johnny Gargano, who is the champion, going in against Adam Cole, baby. And this was the match of the night. They pulled in such a good match the last takeover of WrestleMania with that 2 out of 3 falls match. The whole story was that Adam Cole won the first fall, and if it wasn't a 2 out of 3 falls match, he would have won the championship. So that was obviously now going back into that sort of story. Ref bump, you don't see many of them. Then there was a super kick with the chair. Johnny Gargano super kicked Adam Cole, who was holding the chair up to his face. He rolled Adam Cole into the ring to get the pin, but obviously the ref's down. So he goes out of the ring to try and wake the ref up for Adam Cole, then to trick him by calling out the Undisputed Era, who didn't come out. Then they had another couple of near falls. Then Adam Cole set up Johnny Gargano for his running knee attack from behind, only for Johnny Gargano to sort of fall flat, so to put the end of that. And then we found out he was playing possum, and he got him into submission. I thought at that point that was probably going to be over, but then Adam Cole attacked the knee. Obviously they were telling the story that Johnny Gargano hurt his knee during the match. Adam Cole attacked the knee. He went for what I'm calling a Canadian Destroyer. I think it's a Canadian Destroyer. So where he jumps off I think it's the middle rope, onto Johnny Gargano as he's bent over, and then they sort of do a flip into a pile driver. He tried to do it first, but that sort of failed, and then at the end he tried it again, and then it actually succeeded, and then they got a 1, 2, 3 count. So now Adam Cole is the new NXT champion. Much to Kai's sadness, he didn't want Johnny Gargano to lose, did you? You were rooting for Johnny Gargano, and you were a bit upset about that one, weren't you? But yeah, I think you're all right now. But that is what it is. I think Adam Cole's a worthy champion. I think he should have had that belt sooner. But it's nice to see him with the belt. I think Johnny Gargano will probably go back to main roster now, maybe. But yeah, it was overall the best match of the night for me personally. Had everything: a ref bump. It had, suspense, a story, near falls. The crowd were really into it. Oh, it was great. This is what WWE can do. They can do this on the main roster now. It is run by Triple H. So Triple H has a lot of input. I've heard that Vince McMahon doesn't really have too much input in NXT. If that was true, then this is what Triple H can do, then yeah, it's a little bit of a sore point, to be honest, that they can do matches and shows like this, but then when you get to the main roster, you see a dancing Brock Lesnar with a briefcase and an air guitar Paul Heyman. Yeah, the two are just, they don't, the two are, you can't compare the two because NXT is so good compared to the main roster. This riffing into this pay-per-view, and I thought it was really, really good. What do you think of this pay-per-view?
Kind of good.
You thought it was kind of good? Yep, I thought it was really good. So yep, that's just a few of our thoughts and reactions to it. I thought that the Undisputed Era would dominate a little bit more, I suppose, because they were hyping up that the Undisputed Era would take over NXT Takeover, but they didn't win. Roderick Strong didn't win his match against Matt Riddle. Fish and O'Reilly didn't win the Tag Team Championships, but then Adam Cole did win that title, so a little bit bittersweet for Undisputed Era, I suppose, in the end. Obviously the Velveteen Dream retained. That's quite nice to see that. I like the Velveteen Dream. I think he's still got a nice run with that belt, and obviously Shayna Baszler then retained her title as well. But I don't think there's really anyone at the minute to beat Shayna Baszler. At the minute, I just don't see it. But there may be somebody up and coming soon to take that title off her, and she might get called up to the main roster as well. But yeah, like I said, we'll see. So yeah, if you like this video, then please like, comment, and subscribe. And the next video, which will be out Monday next week, tomorrow, as we're recording this on Sunday, it'll be tomorrow, will be the Super Showdown predictions. That's obviously this time next week that will be done, and we'll be doing another video this time next week to say the reactions and review of that. So yeah, again, I think it's a 5-star pay-per-view. I'm really quite happy with it, and I'm interested to see the next one. They keep putting on these good matches, NXT, so yeah, it was really good. So yeah, I'll say goodbye, and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.